With the popularity of Yellowstone and other TV shows like it, there's been a renewed interest in the Western way of life. Here at the Meadow Event Park in Central Virginia, organizers are taking full advantage of the so-called Yellowstone effect and are using it to connect people to agriculture.
Let's go!
A little mud couldn't dampen the excitement of watching a bull rider try to make it to the 8-second mark at a recent rodeo at the Meadow Event Park in Caroline County. An afternoon rain shower left plenty of visible mist under the lights by the time evening arrived. But rodeo fans young and old had plenty to cheer for.
Yeah! Come on, Virginia!
This rodeo is run by Revenge Roughstock Company, and they've been holding events at the Meadow Event Park since the summer of 2000.
As soon as tickets were available, they were gone, overnight almost. And it kind of seemed like the area really liked what we were doing, and we kind of wanted to give everybody that peace of mind, but Western heritage brought back to the area.
Even though rodeos have only started coming here recently, the Meadow Event Park has been recognized as a top spot on the circuit.
Meadow Event Park received the 2022 Rodeo of the Year Award, which is voted on by the American Roughstock Association and all of their participants and cowboys and cowgirls of all of the sites and rodeos and locations that they go to and participate and compete in.
Rodeo is the Spanish word for roundup or go around, and the sport has roots in both Spanish and Mexican cultures. According to the Texas State Historical Association, Anglo and Spanish-Mexican cultures began to mix in the 1800s, creating the Southwest cattle industry. Social gatherings such as 4th of July celebrations led to cowboys from nearby ranches challenging each other's riding and roping skills.
And then somewhere along the lines, the bull riding came into effect. And I think that was probably a tiebreaker thing back then, where they were roping calves and then breaking horses, and everybody was tied, and they said, well, I can get on that bull. I'm crazy enough to do it, and did it. And so that became another sport, and it evolved into this big competition.
Tyler Crank is a cowboy from Texas who traveled to the Meadow Event Park for the rodeo that was featured in last year's State Fair of Virginia. He normally rides bulls, but not this time.
I got stepped on in the bull ride, and I drew the same bull I drew down in Lafayette, Alabama, at the beginning of the year in the IPRA, and just stepped on the back of my leg and broke my leg.
A broken leg isn't enough to stop him from participating, although he would only ride bareback horses.
You can't lie, cheat, steal your way in a rodeo. You can't say somebody you're not. You can't show up and try to act like somebody you're not. You have to show up and show out. And there's no liars that get by the rest of them. If you're going to be great, people are going to see you be great, and that's what it is. You really got to put it all out there to be somebody.
Rodeo is a sport born from agriculture. In the western U.S., wild horses were once plentiful, and cowboys had to learn how to break them. Then, as the cattle industry grew, cowboys had to learn to herd and rope their livestock. And while these skills have evolved, the connection to agriculture, in all of its forms, has stayed the same.
We need farmers to produce the crops so that we can get grain and hay to these horses and the livestock. I mean, it's really important for us to feed them really well. These things make our money for us. So, we got to feed them as good as we can. That way they perform as good as they can. You know what I mean? Agriculture is everything in the rodeo industry. They go hand in hand.
Agricultural feeds us. It's very important to keep it alive, to be able to feed us and keep the land going, to be able to be good for the crops and whatnot. Without agriculture, we ain't eating.
It's everything to me. I'm a thoroughbred trainer too. That's my main job. And so for me, to preserve agriculture, we lose farms, you lose the ground and stuff like that. We don't get feed. We don't have stuff to take care of our horses properly. We lose quality feed and stuff for them to take care of them. So for me, it's huge.
These cowboys and cowgirls are continuing a rodeo tradition that dates back centuries. And with popular culture taking notice of the sport once again, there's sure to be interest in rodeo for years to come. In Caroline County, I'm Burke Moeller reporting.